Michael, and I am one of the creators of Alignify, a simple tool to help you and your team get aligned around goals and meetings. Some of the most important things that I think are so often missing. We use the phrase simple, but not simplistic in organizations. And we wanted to create a simple place for you to keep track of your goals, your company goals and individual goals, make that visible, right? Because we believe you should have some clear goals and they should be visible and they should be reviewed every week. But that doesn't need to be heavy. It doesn't need to be complicated. It can be simple. In fact, it can take just 60 seconds. So I wanted to give you a quick tour. I'm logged into a demo account. This is a demo account of a church, and I'm logged in. I've already gone to the website and logged in. And when you first log in, you immediately go and see the dashboard. And you'll see two boxes right at the top. You've got the annual goals that have been set up, and this particular organization has 3. And you've got Q1 goals, and these are individual. So across all the team members that are here in the organization, there's 18 goals. And you can see very quickly, here's a snapshot of what is on track and off track. But what I want to do is I want to just show you, right, anytime you log into a new tool, you can see that there's always a lot going on. But we've designed this, that there's just a few screens that are really simple, and it kind of flows throughout the application. And the key action, I would say, is this snapshot. And if you go here to the snapshot, we designed this to be a kind of quick view of all the goals. And so, right, you just go to all the goals and you can see, everybody can see all the goals, and you can sort them by what's on track, what's off track. You can sort them by owner. You can sort them by, titles. And you can just see where we are for the quarter. You can jump around to other quarters or for the year as well. But the check-in is what I wanted to show you. And this is the start, right? This is the starting point. The idea is that on a regular schedule, say once a week and say Friday, right? So every Friday, that every team member would just get a quick message. It could be an email, it could be a Slack, it could be a text. It's like, hey, time for the check-in. This check-in just takes about 60 seconds. And this is the single action that drives throughout the thing. So I go here to my check-in, right? So I'm John Harrington, and you can see here's my goals. They've already been set, right? We did that elsewhere. And I just simply say whether they're on track, off track, or caution. I just update the status, and hopefully from week to week, maybe they don't all change. But if they do, we just want to be honest. And then I've got 2 questions to answer. What happened last week and what's on my radar for this week? And so as a team member, right, I could come in here and say, I made great progress with the staff manual I've been working on, had 3 amazing meetings with prospective volunteers, getting over a cold, right? So this, again, it could just be simple, right? Some people here are going to write longer things. Some people may put bullet points. Some people, it's just simple, right? You just go in here and go, what's happening? And then when I look ahead, what's going on next week? Need to finish the sermon series on Psalms and post it to the group, right? So I just look ahead to next week and I just share kind of what's on my radar, going through budget info, right? Just what's happening, right? So this is narrative and this is factual. And I submit the check-in and I'm done. I've updated the team on my goals. My leader can see that. My team can see where the goal status are. And now if anybody goes to the snapshot, they'll see that those are reflected there as well. So this weekly check-in, this single action that takes just 60 seconds is kind of the tip of the spear. And it's how this tool is constantly alive and updated. And you can see it's not heavy. It doesn't require a big report. It's pretty simple. In fact, we're working on integrations to where team members will be able to do this exclusively via text and via Slack. You don't even have to really log in to just go, here's what's going on. Now, as a leader, right? So as the leader, when I log on, I see the dashboard, I see those latest updates. And so, right, as I go back and scroll through, I see everybody's latest updates. So maybe me as a leader, when I come in, let's say it's Monday morning, and I go, all right, what's happening? This dashboard view gives me a snapshot of where all the goals are, and I see what everybody wrote and what they shared with their goals. And this is just a simple way, right? In just a few minutes, I can kind of see what's going on. I have visibility, right? We talk about ambient accountability. It's just kind of like ambient light. You can kind of just see around. Ambient accountability is when everybody can kind of see what's going on. It's not surveillance, right? We're not checking up on people. We're not micromanaging. but out in the open, we're saying, here's what we said was the most important things, and here's where I am with that. So that's those two items, right? The check-in and the dashboard, and then of course the snapshot view just lists all the goals. And that's really the meat of this tool. That's really, obviously we have to set up the goals. There's getting stuff in here, right? So I can go to people and we can kind of see all the people. There's a lot more we can do, but just those 2 or 3 screens and if you just stay on those 2 or 3 screens in this tool, it brings an incredible amount of clarity, brings an incredible amount of visibility. Now, let me show you some other things that make it even more meaningful. So let's go down here to meetings. If I jump down here to meetings, we've set up a team meeting. I can read the meeting philosophy up here. I'll dismiss that for now. But I've set up a staff meeting. And so like most organizations, this particular church has a staff meeting, and they meet once a week for an hour. And there's 6 people in it. So if I click on here on the staff meeting, what do I have here? Well, this is my agenda, right? I've gone through and I've configured. I say, when we meet, what I want to do is I want to look at our annual goals. I want to look at our individual goals. I want to look at the scorecard. I want to look at issues, and I want to talk about any action items. Now I can set up all this to be the things that I want to cover. I can add custom things in here to go when we meet, this is what we want to talk about. But I want you to notice something that's really important. This agenda, we've got a place over here for notes, and this auto saves. You come back week to week and all your notes are there. But you can see that we've decided that we want to start with our goals. So I don't have to go to another tool. I don't have to pull up another Google sheet. I don't have to go. I just click on here and go, okay, these were our organizational annual goals. How are they? All right. We want to look at individual goals. How are they? And so we can just see all the information is right here that we need for in our meeting. We want to look at our scorecard, and here's our snapshot of the scorecard, which is managed over here on the scorecard page. So we're building the meeting agenda. It is consistent from week to week, but it is live and populated with the things that we've determined that we want to talk about. And so you don't have to have separate meeting agendas. You don't have to pull up random documents. You don't have to have everybody look at 4 or 5 different things before they come to the meeting. It's all right here in one place. I mentioned the scorecard. This is one of my favorite features. You can, again, read our scorecard philosophy, but every organization tracks different things. And this particular church said, hey, here's 7 things we want to track. You can add more things, obviously. And this just becomes a better version of a Google sheet, a better version of the most important numbers. You can make it somebody's job to fill this in once a week. You can have different people, because each person is responsible for this, filled in each week, so that when you come into that meeting, boom, the information is already there. There's a really nice view of now that you can kind of see what's going on, and then you can see the weekly trends. And when all the data populates, you can see monthly, quarterly, and annual as well. This is just a snapshot of our numbers, like our key metrics we want to have right there. Another thing I really love in here is the Issues tab. The Issues tab, again, one of the philosophies that we have is visibility. And we believe there's some other frameworks that do this as well. But we believe that anybody ought to kind of, be able to throw a flag, a referee flag, and say, hey, there's an issue. I mean, it's not just an issue for me. Because if issue for me, I could just solve it. But I think there's an issue affecting us. And so anybody can come in here and just create a new issue. And you could, what is the issue? It's like, volunteers are late. And then you could add some description. I've been noticing this for a while, whatever. You can add some stuff. And now it's an issue. It's here in the inbox. And whoever a team leader, a pastor, anybody could kind of come through and we could discuss the issue right here. Like we could just talk about it right here. Or we can decide that we're going to make it an active issue and we're going to talk about it in the next meeting. So we just drag it over here to active issue, and now it's an active issue. What does an active issue mean? It means when we get to the issue section of that meeting, that's there, right? If we go through and we decide we're not going to talk about this now, we can just move it to hold, and we're just not going to talk about it right now. And so that is the issues page, and it's super, super helpful. Key docs is one simple thing that we have here. I think every organization has documents that you wish your team would have quicker access to. Sometimes these get lost in Google Drive, so you can just add them here. And a training library also is one of my favorite things. There's also a lot of times we watch videos or we read book summaries or something that's like when new people come on, or like, I wish this would come knowledge for us. You just drop it in here and it creates a place for that. You can run one-on-one meetings in here as well. And so that makes it super easy. Last thing I'll show you is just this engagement section. We wanted to create a way, I would say these things are optional, but fun. We wanted to create a way that your team members would log in and use this thing. So we've got questions that's set up, and we borrowed this idea from Basecamp. But questions are just automatic questions that get asked on a regular cadence. You can set up the cadence, right? So right here, I've set up, how can we pray for you? And this question, it becomes just kind of a discussion thread. And, the more people comment, the latest comments just stay at the top, and it's always right there. And I've set this every Monday to just send a notification to everybody. It's like, hey, it's time to ask a question. It's time to answer this question. How can we pray for you? And you could set up other ones. Have you read anything? Are you stuck on anything? Are you going anywhere fun? These can be a mix of work-related things. They can be personal. The other thing we added in here is kudos. Kudos is just bragging on people. So you can see here I've bragged on Aaron and Emily, and you can say positive things about people. And then of course, when you say something, a notification will show up here in your notification. You can pile on, right? This is always a great thing. We just wanted a place for people to just talk positive about stuff. So here this is, it's built right in here. And so you can explore all of this. This big picture page is fun. This is almost like the business plan. We think, you could update this letter here regularly, but this is where we've got our annual goals and our purpose and our mission and our vision, and our values. Just again, a place for this to kind of live that we can reference right in here. You can add people, you can set up teams, right? I've created a worship team here. Teams function almost just like companies inside of this. And you can see the team goals together. Just a really nice view. But I would drive you back to the simple thing, the weekly check-in, right? If everybody's got 3 goals, we have our weekly check-in, we just update them. And then that creates this simple dashboard that everybody can see kind of what everybody's doing and what's happening. It creates clarity around goals. It creates visibility around goals. And it creates a place where you can review them every week without it being heavy and more meetings, and just keep the main thing in front of you all the time. I think goals, most people in organizations cannot name their organization's top 3 goals. This helps solve that. This keeps the main thing in front of people all the time. And it's just a simple way to do it. So this is a quick tour of Alignify. I hope you will check it out at alignify.com. And you can set up an account. You can add your team members. You can add some goals. There's onboarding to kind of walk you through to get some data into here as we get started. And I think it will help you stay aligned.